everyone, welcome back to another episode with me, Living Free Ashley. Today, we are making donuts. There isn't anything really special about these donuts except the fact that they're gluten-free and vegan. There's no special flours or crazy ingredients. They're really basic, they're really easy to make, and I think the fanciest thing that you need is the actual donut pan. So thank you to my friend Brianna for lending me her donut pan because I didn't have one. I whipped these up in 10 minutes, I think, and then of course you have to bake them and glaze them. But yeah, like I said before, super simple. So let's make some donuts. All right, so you want to start by preheating your oven to 350 degrees, and you want to prep your donut pan by greasing it as well as giving it a little bit of flour if you know that it might be a little tricky to get the donuts out. Next, you want to make your flax egg. So you want to take 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed and 3 tablespoons of water and whisk that really well, and then set it aside to thicken. In a medium bowl, you want to add half a cup of oat flour. I just blended oats in my Vitamix to make flour. Half a cup of almond flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and a pinch of sea salt, and optional 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. I add this because I love cinnamon, but it isn't necessary. And you want to give that a good mix, trying to remove any clumps that might be there. Next, you want to make a little bit of a well in your dry ingredients and then add 2 tablespoons of pure maple syrup, 1/3 cup of unsweetened applesauce, and your now thickened flax egg, and you want to give that a good stir until everything is well combined. Next, you want to add the batter to the donut pan. So I just scooped it out in small tablespoons, filling the little donut circles, and then smoothed it out with a small spoon. I know some people pipe it out of a bag, but this seemed to work just fine for me. Now, for those chocolate lovers out there, aka me, I added 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder and mixed that in, as well as 1 more tablespoon of unsweetened applesauce because it was a little dry once I added the cocoa powder, and I gave that a good stir to combine, and then did the same, adding that chocolate batter to the donut pan. Next, you want to bake it for about 15 minutes or until a toothpick inserted comes out clean. To make removal a little bit easier, I took a knife and just gently went around the edges of the donuts. And you want to let them cool completely before you remove them. Okay, so now my donuts are completely cooled, and I'm just gonna pop them gently out of the donut pan and put them on a plate with the flat side down. Now you can see there are some bits of flour on there, which isn't really a big deal because it'll be covered by the glaze, but if you don't use flour, then you won't have those spots. Okay, so now to make the glaze, you're gonna add 1/4 cup of vegan butter melted into a small bowl, as well as 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract and 1 cup of powdered icing sugar. You're gonna mix that until it's nice and combined, and if the glaze isn't quite runny enough, you're gonna add 1 tablespoon of plant-based milk, and I used my homemade oat milk. Now, if you are not lazy like me, you can sift the ingredients and then you won't get those little lumps like in my glaze. But I was fine with them. You want to take your donut, pop it in there gently, and get the top all covered with glaze. And you want to repeat that with your donuts and play around with some toppings. So I topped a couple of my donuts with crushed walnuts as well as some coconut shreds. I found that the donuts soaked up the glaze, so if you're doing a plain one without toppings, you can do a double glaze just to get that glaze extra thick on there. And again, for those chocolate lovers out there, hello! I added about 1 tablespoon of cocoa powder and turned it into a chocolate glaze. And again, it's a little lumpy because I didn't sift, but oh well. So again, just finish dipping your donuts into the glaze and top with your preferred toppings, and give that plain one a double glaze if you'd like. And then I just placed them in the fridge for the glaze to set. All right, so these are how the delicious donuts turned out. When you break into it, you can see how moist and fluffy it is, and I assure you they won't stay around very long. So simple, so tasty. I love that it was so easy to do both the kind of original style and the chocolate style, and you can switch it up with the glazes and the toppings and just have some fun. And It's also probably a good thing that it only makes 6 donuts. It's like a small batch, so you don't have too many to eat at home. I do want to say I did really want to make a powdered sugar-free glaze. However, the main ingredient is coconut oil, and when I went to my cupboard to make it, I realized it didn't have any coconut oil. So I am going to link a website below. It's Minimalist Baker, who I've mentioned before, and I've made some of her recipes before, but she has a icing sugar-free glaze for her donuts. So if you want to check that out, click below. And then if you want to go the good old-fashioned route with the powdered sugar, then you can use my glaze. So thank you again for watching another episode with me, Living Free Ashley. Don't forget to subscribe, please give this video a thumbs up, and cheers to living free.